Welcome back to Low Stress Math with Mrs. Bono. We are on Lesson 4, Rotations, Unit 7, Transformations. So let's spin around and rotate this, eh? All right, the target is you will be able to rotate objects clockwise and counterclockwise. All right, how about we will be able to? Rotate objects clockwise and counterclockwise. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But mostly rotate objects 90 degrees, 180 degrees, and 270 degrees. Those are the ones we're going to be working on. So you know 90 degrees is a right angle, 180 degrees is a straight line pointed in the opposite direction, and 270 degrees is 3/4 of a circle, and we'll be talking about that. But if you look over here, you can see I have my little circle that spins. Rotations basically spin. So a rotation is a transformation that spins an object about a fixed point called the center of rotation. And an object and its rotation are the same shape and size, but the figure may be turned in different directions. We're going to talk a lot about that. So, the image is where you end. The pre-image is where you start. So if this is where I start, let's just follow C. C went in what direction? C went that way. And it spun counterclockwise. So let's talk about these two words. Counterclockwise is when you spin to the left, and clockwise is when you're spinning to the right. In other words, clockwise follows the hands of a clock around a clock, and counterclockwise goes in the opposite direction. It's not that difficult. You'll figure this out. Honestly, you will. It's not bad. All right, so properties of rotation. Remember we talked about preservation. So it preserves, which means keeps the same. Remember, preservatives are in your food to keep it the same as when they make it. Preserves size, shape, angles, and basically congruence. If you're the same size and same shape, you're still congruent. Now, the next thing it does is it changes orientation. And orientation is basically the direction that it's pointed in. So you could see here is sort of pointed up and to the right, and here it's up and to the left. It changed orientation. Where the, quote, point of the object is changes direction. It also changes location, but I'm not going to dwell on that. It's mostly orientation that we're going to be concerned with. So, triangle ABC. Hey, hi, triangle ABC. What are your coordinates? Well, let's see. I didn't put any numbers on here, silly Bono. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So right here, A is at 1, 4. B is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. And C is at 2, 0. Okay, I'm going to put that, where can I put that? Where it's out of the way. Here we go, 2, 0. So that's my original ABC. So I'm just going to take those numbers, I'm going to write them up here. So A is at 1, 4, and B is at 5, 2, and C is at 2, 0. And now we have to rotate it. We're going to spin it around the center. So what I'm going to do, just because I want to show you that after I'm done, this shape has stayed the same, is I am just gonna copy it onto this sticky note. Here we go. Grabbing my ruler, and I can see through the sticky note. Can you? Yeah, you can see through the sticky note. And I'm just gonna follow my sticky note here. It's gonna be just a tiny bit smaller than the triangle that's given, so that you can see the outline of the triangle around it after I paste it in there. So this is A, and this is C, and this is B. And I'm doing that so that when I rotate it, you'll be able to see where it lands. So, ha ha ha, see where it lands. Oh, no, you're just the funniest. All right, here we go. Now, here I am. Now, let's say I'm rotating it 90 degrees. So, I'm here on there, and if I rotate it 90 degrees, it's gonna be here. Ah, so that means I already know where C is gonna land. So, I know that my rotation is gonna go like that. That's 90 degrees around the origin. There's the origin right there in the middle. In fact, I think I'll just put a big dot at the origin. This is what I'm spinning around. So I've gone 90 degrees counterclockwise. So I'm gonna have a point here that's gonna be C prime, and up here for B prime, and down here for A prime. Now I'm moving my little baby for a second. Go over here, triangle. And here we go. These are all 90 degrees from where they started. How do you know that, Bono? Well, if I put a 90-degree angle here, you could see C and C prime are on opposite sides of the 90-degree angle. And if I put it here, I'm covering up my B. I want my B to be there. So here we go. I put it on the point. I have B here and B prime there, 90 degrees from each other. And if I put it here, and I have it on A and A prime, look, 90 degrees from each other. So the 90-degree angle is what's spinning around this point. And each time it moves one of the points of the triangle 90 degrees. So my rotation is here about this point, and as it rotates, it moves all the points. So my triangle is spinning. Now, where did my new triangle land? Well, my A prime is here at -4, +1. My new C prime is at 0, 2. And my new B prime is at -2, 5. Is there a pattern? Do you see it? I see it. The pattern is you switch the X and Y and you change the sign of the Y. Remember what the word for changing the sign was? Yeah, it's negate. So we're going to switch the X and Y and negate the Y. So to get to A prime, I negate the Y and put it in front, but I leave the X alone at the back. So for B prime, I negate the Y and leave the 5 alone at the back. And to get to C prime, I can't negate 0, it's always just going to be 0. You can't have a -0, but that's okay. So, and this is just going to work for counterclockwise. Yeah, I should have highlighted that, but whatever. Here we go. So, switch the X and Y and negate the y. In other words, if you start with just x and y, you would switch them to get negative y, positive x. So that's the symbol for that. Now let's do the others, which, by the way, actually are quite a bit easier. So let's take my little baby triangle, and it's going to continue to rotate around. Come here, little ABC. So now I was up here at 0, 2, so I'm going to go to the opposite side for C, and that's going to be there. And oh, come on, Bono, do it right. Here we go, 2. That goes there. So you can see, oh, C. Give me another color. I like green. Here we go. Here's C double prime, which is at -2, 0. And B double prime, which is at -5, -2. And A double prime, which is down here at -1, -4. What happened there? Oh, you didn't even see it. It spun all the way around and it negated both the x and y. So that's what happens for 180 degrees. Both of them are negated, but they're back to the original order. So you don't switch x and y, you just negate the x and y. So I'm going to go back up here to my original coordinates, ABC, which were 1, 4, 5, 2, and 2, 0. And now they're not switching, they're just getting negated. So A double prime is -1, -4. B double prime, -5, -2. And C double prime, -2, 0. Because remember, 0 is not changing. So this one just negates x and y. In other words, x, y, and to negate it, you multiply by -1. -1 times x and -1 times y. Negate them both. All right. So now, it's getting very pretty, isn't it? It's looking like a pinwheel almost. So guess what? We're going to finish up this pinwheel, and we're going to stick another guy over there. So where's my little baby triangle? And he is going to go here with C on there and A there. And spinning, spinning, spinning. Now, where's my pretty purple pen? Here we go. A is going to be here. C is there. Oh, that's not C, Bono, that's B. See, it looks like a B. And C is going to be here. Go away, little triangle. Connect my points. And here we go. A is now at, look, it switched again. It's at 1, -4. So it switched places, and now the x is the negative. And this one is going to be at 0, -2, and this one is at 2, -5. So they switched places, but now the x is negative. So starting with the originals again, I'm always going to go back to the original, A, B, C, 1, 4, 5, 2, and 2, 0. And then, I'm going to switch them. I wish I had a better purple. Better purple kicking around somewhere. Maybe. Let's try this one. This purple is kind of dying on me here. So this one switched for a, I'm going to call it triple prime, to get positive 4, negative 1, because they switch and that one becomes negative. So here we go. B triple prime, 2 and negative 5, and C triple prime, 0 and negative 2. So now I'm just negating the X. So switch the X and Y and negate the X. You're not going to be doing this one very often. This is kind of rare. You mostly do 90 degrees counterclockwise and 180 degrees clockwise. So here we go. X and Y becomes Y and negative X. To me, it's easier to see it this way. A lot of people like words though, so. And I realized when I looked down at my picture, I totally forgot to put my triple primes. You know, Bono, this is how you lose points on a test, by not putting your primes. Okay. I didn't even put a letter there. Jiminy cricket, Bono. A double prime. Now, did you see I went back and I checked my graph? What a novel concept, making sure you did your graph right. All right, let's take a look at the next page. Da, da, da. Here we go. All right, so CC is short for counterclockwise. And we already did this, but we're gonna do it again. So let's start with the colors. 90 degrees counterclockwise. It was negative Y, X. So negative 4, 1, negative 2, 5, 0, 2. I just can't make 0 negative. And then, you negated both of them, negative X, negative Y, and it becomes negative 1, negative 4, negative 5, negative 2, 0, negative 2. And then, for the last one, we did that in the pretty purple. I like purple. Here we go. Which was switch and negate the X. So Y, negative X. And that would be positive 4. Why do I keep wanting to do that? Ay, 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 bono, bono, bono. At least I stop myself before I get too far. So 4, negative 1, and 2, negative 5, and 0, negative 2. No, Bono, definitely not. 2, 0, negative 2, 0, sorry. I'm better than this. I know I am. And a 360-degree rotation doesn't change anything. X and Y stay the same. 360 degrees puts you right back where you started at 1, 4, 5, 2, 2, 0. Right back at the beginning. All right, so here's our rules. 90-degree rotation, switch them, and negate the Y. So negative Y, X. Negative X, negative Y. Negative X, positive Y. What? No. See, that's what's wrong with my head. See, bad Bono, your head is so wrong. It's full of stupid nonsense. Negative X, positive Y. Oh my God, I literally just wrote the same thing. They should just take my teaching license away at this point. Regular Y, comma, negative X, get it right. There. Never write the notes until I'm done. All right, and 360 stays the same, xy. So now, the fun questions. 3, -2. All right, so x and y are 3, -2. 90 degrees counterclockwise is going to be -y x. So switch them and change that sign. So -2 becomes +2, and nothing happens to the x. So there's my new point right there, 2, 3. 180 degrees is xy becomes -x, -y. But remember, it's negate, so you're just changing the signs. So I have -5, 4, and it's going to become 5, -4. 90 degrees clockwise, there's the rub. That is the same as 270 degrees counterclockwise. Haha, they were trying to trick me, which is easy to do because I'm old. So xy switches to y -x. And do you know, I just looked up to make sure I did it right. Just, my brain needs a little help sometimes. Today is that day. So if I have 3, 2, it's going to become 2, -3. And there you go. Not so hard. Here we go. On to the next. Bailey's doghouse is represented by pentagon ABCDE and on the coordinate plane, but the sun is too strong, so it needs to be rotated 180 degrees. So what I'm going to do is write down all these coordinates, and I'm going to multiply them all times -1. So here we go. A is at 2, -1. B is at 3, -2. C is at 3, -3. D is at 1, -3. And E is at 1, -2. Now remember, 180 degrees is you multiply everything times the -1. So you just change all of, I can't find the pen I'm looking for. You just change all the signs. So A double prime is going to be -2, +1. B double prime is going to be -3, +2. C double prime is going to be -3, +3. D double prime is going to be -1, +3. And E double prime, -1, +2. So you're just changing every single sign. That's 180 degrees. So x, y becomes -x, -y. That's 180 degree rotation. So now to shrinky dink this down, come over here and graph those points. At -2, +1 for A, -3, +2 for B, -3, +3 for C, -1, +3 for D, and -1, +2 for E. And oh boy, Bono, are you a dummy? I have to prime these. I'm double priming them because this was 180 degrees and it's my habit, but single primes are fine. I mean, it is just one rotation. So, check the dots, and there we go. You are the worst at connect the dots, Bono. I know. And it told me to call it single primes, so now I got to connect my double primes here to make them single primes. Ugh, absolutely the worst. All right, so graph this image 90 degrees counterclockwise by reflecting it over ABCDE and then rotating the image. Look at this. I have to reflect and then rotate. Well, that's just awful. Well, reflection is not so bad. Let's reflect first. And it says reflect over the x-axis. So here is the x-axis. And to reflect it out, A is 1 dot away, so A prime would be on the opposite side. B is 2, so B prime, 2. C is 3, C prime. Why didn't you label these things? E is 2, E prime. D is 3, D prime. Now that's nice. That's very sweet and all bono, but that's not my final image. That's my reflection. And now I have to rotate it. So I have to take that and I have to switch the coordinates. Okay, so I'm going to write these coordinates down. A is at 2, 1. B is at 3, 2. C is at 3, 3. D is at 1, 3. And E is at 1, 2. Now, to rotate that 90 degrees, I have to, I just realized I did not put a single prime on there. Give me a minute, I'll get back to it, but switch them and get -1, 2, -2, 3. Remember, you have to switch them and negate the y. C, -3, 3. D, -3, 1. And E, -2, 1. So you're switching them and negating the y. So this is x and this is y. It's going to go to -y, x. Switch them and negate the y. So let's graph that. At -1, 2 for A double prime, -2, 3 for B double prime, -3, 3 for C double prime, -3, 1. Yeah, that's right, wow. For D double prime, -2, 1 for E double prime. Grab my ruler, do this one nice and neat. There we go. Okay. So I reflected and then rotated the reflection. All right, that worked. Are the final images in part A and part B the same? No. Why not? Well, because one was reflected and then rotated, the other was just rotated. So the orientation is different. That's the only thing. So no, the orientations are different. So they're the same size and the same shape, so they're congruent. So they're the same in that way. But in this one, it's changed direction from this one because that was reflected and then rotated. And this one was just rotated. Okay, well, take care. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.